Here we are. It's Office Hours, the afternoon edition. Office Hours episode 765 or so. And look who I found on the Aspire Tour, matching his best friend. That's right, the incredible Sean Dill, Dr. Sean Dill. Thank you for co-hosting in person with me on the Aspire Tour.
My pleasure to be here. What a fantastic day. What a fantastic lineup. Call your friends, hit the share button, do everything you can, because today is going to knock your socks off.
And wear pink, except for my man to get the memo. It's Nick Agakar. Hello, my brother. Thank you for co-hosting with the two fools.
What's going on, guys? Yeah, where are your hats? I want the pointy hats. That's what I want.
Oh, hats.
Wait, what?
The pointy hats.
There you go. Now you're getting it.
It's amazing we got to 765 or so of these. It's a lot of fun, but I am super excited about our first guest because it's aligned with what I've been trying to explain to people about things that occur in search engine optimization with AI. And the game has changed, the analytics have changed, and we need experts that can help us. He's the clay that holds it all together. Bruce Clay is the founder and president at Bruce Clay Inc. Welcome to Office Hours.
Glad to be here.
You
I
seem
didn't
it,
get
so
the
do we.
memo.
That's all right. Well, there's a change that's happened, and I call it a rabbit hole. You call it SERP. And what I found with AI is that no longer is traditional SEO applicable, because what is truly making the money in platforms are the rabbit holes. And if you create a social silo with your presence online, you create a social silo, a rabbit hole, and people start feeding your content, regardless of ad spend, the platforms are built off of the fact that they're going to feed people more of you if they like to eat or feed off of your rabbit hole. And when I started doing research on search engine result pages and the strategy that is around it, I saw a lot of similarities to the philosophies in the strategy that I was adopting to a new approach to survive AI changes to SEO. Obviously, there are SEO changes. I was hoping you could start by explaining to us how the AI changes have impacted traditional SEO, and then I'll let the other boys ask you about the SERP visibility and how to utilize it.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to do it. One of the pieces of news that you may not have, and most of the world hasn't really registered with yet, Google announced that the way to get into their AIO, their AI overviews, is to do SEO. It turns out that AI doesn't have 25 years of eliminating spam, and their spiders aren't as sophisticated and as broad. So they borrow results actually from Google. So Google is, no matter what, SEO within Google, it's a prerequisite, not a separate item from being able to get into AI. And Google was rather blunt about it, and multiple people at Google have reiterated. It turns out if you want to be in AI, you have to do the core proper SEO. Now, there are a couple of extensions. You have to do the SEO and then some. There are some extensions to that. And that's really where people are kind of going. The extensions are not intuitively obvious. They are, for instance, if I can just keep rambling here, AI is really very much question-based. It is designed to give an answer. And the questions can be complex, multi-questions. For instance, if I wanted to know what is a shoe store in my area that sells this brand and is open at 6 p.m., I can do that as one question in AI. But if I was in Google it'd be multiple queries, and I'd have to manually figure out which is the one that I want. So AI is a question-based system, and the percentage of queries that are question-based is now 18% and growing. So people are adapting to answering and asking questions. So to go back, I have to be able to do SEO. I have to be the expert. I have to be the authority. I have to have my content structured on my page correctly. I have to have my schema. I have to do the technical components of SEO. I have to not be identified as a spammer. All the things that the search engines have done all these years. And then I have to become more usable. I have to have a structure that is usable. I have to have clusters of content within my content structure of my website. My pages have actually got to be structured correctly. And then Google just provides that data to AI. So AI says, well, give me a trusted site that is an authority, that yada yada, and it just gets the data. It doesn't have to be reinventing search. There's too much in search that is a qualifier. And I think that's a big part of what we're going to need in order to show up in AI.
Bruce, let me ask you, so that to me, if we're really using AI as content creation, a lot of people I think are using AI to, boost up their website, get stuff on there. Would this, what you're saying, kind of cut against that, because that's not really authentic then, and it's going to sort of trigger those spam filters on Google and actually downgrade your page? So is it that we're kind of back at the beginning where you really need to be creating that authentic authority on your website, or can we use AI to create content for our website?
Well, there was just a research project report done by Ahrefs where they analyzed hundreds of thousands of keywords. And what they found is that about 40% of the first page results are AI. So my guess is that the search engines can't tell. So assuming they can't tell, the next issue is the quality of the content. And AI is quite capable of generating reasonable quality content. The difference is that, and in my case, it's sort of a bias. I think that even when you generate content from AI, that there are rules about what the content structure should be. And we've created something called a humanizer as part of our prewriter.ai tool. And the humanizer is just one of the tools, but it will read in your document and realize that every sentence has exactly the same number of words in it, that every paragraph has the same number of sentences in it, that every area with bullet lists have exactly the same number of bullet lists in them. That, if you form a pattern like that, it's easy to identify you as an AI tool, but it's also easy then to change it. We've spent years developing what's called Prewriter. I mentioned it. And it had to actually have code in it that says, don't use the same number of bullets in every section. Don't use the same number of paragraphs in every section. All your sentences should be shorter. Write for a ninth grader. Your adjectives can't be that elegant. I'll tell you one of my experiments. I do a lot. One of my experiments is I want you to write this content that is sickeningly sweet, right? Everybody wants it to be less conspicuous. I just said, go the other way. And as soon as it went the other way, it came out 10% AI instead of 90% AI. So everybody's still learning. Everybody's getting better. I would say the following. You could today get away with generating AI, giving it to Google, and having it work. The real problem you face when you do that is that your AI, that content, doesn't have the voice of the website. It doesn't have the style of your other posts. And quite frankly, it doesn't have the compliance. You may have taboo words. You may not want to use certain words in the way you describe things. You still have to refer to your other material. It has to integrate. AI doesn't know what your other material is. It doesn't put in the links that make it work right. It doesn't apply style. The average person is going to go to chat, using chat as an example, and put in a keyword and say, give me 1,500 words. By the way, I've done that a lot in my testing. And it usually shows up at 90% AI when you do your test tools. And if people haven't done a test tool in a long time, I kind of like to use zerogpt.com, but you don't have to. But you can test it, and it'll say 90% AI. And that's a problem. I think you have to be under 20% AI. It's normally considered human. 10% is our corporate goal. You can do that.
Many ways and many strategies. Someone that's been doing this, known as the father of SEO. He's the clay that holds it all together when it comes to SEO. Bruce Clay will teach you how to test and go, and utilizing great strategies, especially with his SERP visibility, search engine result pages strategy, how websites need to start adopting this new approach to survive the percentages of AI that are necessary to continue to attract the right people in the right places. Thank you so much, Clay. We'll have you back. We got more lessons to learn as this changes daily. We appreciate you keeping us up to date. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bruce.
Awesome. Man, I got to go back and watch that and take notes with my AI.
I know. With my AI note taker, right? So I can figure out how to use it.
Oh, well, Janelle's been in there patiently waiting in the green room. Janelle Bruland is here. We're going to let my friend Sparky next to me ask the first question because her new book came out on my daughter's birthday, June 17th. So I know it's already a great book. Her book is Your Way Back to Happy. Can you think of anything more aligned with me, buddy? Having you here back with me is my way back to happy. How to turn the pain of your past into a future of freedom, purpose, and peace. Janelle, welcome to Office Hours.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, we're excited. What do you think, Mr. Happy?
Well, what a deep concept. I love this. There's so much that we can unpack here. I love this concept of finding your way back to happiness. A lot of people might say happiness is fleeting. It's a temporary thing. And maybe another word that we might think of is finding our way back to peace, especially when you're talking about PTSD. I would love to start by let's start with the beginning of this, finding your way back from. So on the trauma side of things, like, why do you think that any trauma that we're facing, it's in the past and we're trying to find our way back to happy, but from something that happened in the past, why is it so difficult for us as human beings to let go of the past in order to live in the present, where many times we may already be happy?
Yes, exactly. And that's what I really speak to in the book, because so often we look on the outside like we have it all put together. We might even think that we're doing really well and happy with our life. I mean, that's certainly where I was before I realized that I had some unresolved trauma. But I think in the case, especially for leaders and entrepreneurs, and I know we have a lot of them listening today, is that we tend to have this MO of pain. What pain? When something happens in our life, we are just going to deal with it, and then we're going to put it aside and move on. And often we really haven't dove in the way that we need to resolve what's there and really break through those barriers holding us back.
Interesting. So, Janelle, you started in facilities management. You were running this company. So was there sort of an inflection point where you had this aha in your own life to actually turn inside and kind of fix these things? And then how did you do that while also continuing to run your business? Because I think maybe some entrepreneurs just actually ignore that pain because I don't have time for that. I can't do that. So talk to me about how you kind of mustered the strength to do that.
Yes, exactly. Well, as I talk about in the book, is that often we don't realize how trauma shows up in our leadership in good ways and bad. It can turn us into control freaks, which is not necessarily a good thing. And so I think as we learn to deal with our trauma, we learn to let go. And I think for me in running a business, it actually helped me to become a better leader when I actually took some time to resolve the pain of my past. And you asked how this came about. Well, I thought that I was doing just fine. And I had gone away for a weekend to visit a girlfriend and was coming back and had a wonderful time, was looking forward to getting back home. 2 short plane rides. The one was just fine. The second plane ride, we got into some terrible turbulence, which freaked me out a bit, and imaginably, and with the people alongside me as well. And I thought, well, we're finally going to land the plane. And the plane was just whipping back and forth. And I thought, okay, we're on our way down. I'm going to be on the ground in just a few minutes. And it just kept getting worse. And the pilot finally came on and said, hey, sorry, you guys, we're going to turn the plane back around and we're going to take you back. And in this case, it was to Seattle Tacoma Airport in Washington State. We landed the plane, got off the plane, and I had this uncontrollable meltdown in the middle of the Seattle Tacoma Airport. And as I looked around me, everybody else was fine. And I was definitely not fine. I was sobbing. It was ridiculous. And when I talk about being a control freak, I was really out of control in this moment. And after I got through that situation, I realized, wow, what happened to me there? And I really wanted to figure it out. And that's when, through this process of getting a brain scan and finding out that I actually had PTSD and unresolved trauma, it's like, wow, it was going to make its debut. And whether I was ready or not, it was going to come tumbling out. It was time to deal with it. So it was something at that point that I really didn't have the choice anymore. I guess I could have put it aside one more time, like we often do with our pain, but it was time for me to deal with it. And at the same time, yes, I still had a business to run.
And life continues to go on, and utilizing actionable strategies is what compelled me most about your book. Is a lot of people have books about pain and passion and purpose and freedom, but they don't really give us any actionable strategies. And I was curious if you could share one of the more prioritized actionable strategies for those people who are suffering from post-trauma that obviously have to deal with it. What was one of the strategies you'd like that your reader to take away in your new book, Your Way Back to Happy?
I think one of the most important for me, and as I help clients with this now, it's learning how to stop and actually address what's going on in ourselves, mind, body, and soul. What's really happening inside? Because we just don't do that. We are so busy as entrepreneurs going from one thing to another that we don't stop and really get present. And for me, and as I help work with leaders, that's what really has to happen. If we don't become present with ourselves to really listen what's going on for us, we can't heal it. So that's a big one, is really learning how to be present. And I talk about in the book, like you said, I give a roadmap of how to go through and heal your trauma providing a number of different modalities, because different things work for different people, but also sustainable practices to take us forward, because it's not if we're going to face challenges, it's when. So you can heal a situation from your past, but we're going to face challenges again. And one of those ways to really build yourself to be an unshakable leader is to find that time to be present and quiet every day, where you're checking in with yourself and making sure that you're taking the best care of yourself, because we're really good at taking care of everybody else, but not so good oftentimes at taking care of ourselves.
You're speaking my language. I always say an indication of free will is the ability to stop, drop, and roll. She's a speaker at Legacy Leaders, successful entrepreneur, and best-selling author. You got to check out Your Way Back to Happy and utilize pain to promote, protect, and perfect you into a future of freedom, purpose, and peace. Janelle Bruland, please promise us you'll come back, and I can't wait to learn more of these actionable strategies to help us all be happy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, David. It's my pleasure.
Great job. All right, we're moving right along here at the Aspire Tour. It's getting colder and colder. She was talking about Washington. I felt like I was in Seattle right now. It's like they dropped the temperature near like 10
You just never know.
degrees.
5 minutes.
It'll be
It's
80.
Dallas, right?
They'll open a window in Dallas and it'll burn up.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I see Scott here. I'm not sure Tammy's going to be joining us, but Scott Bergmeyer is here, and we are blessed to have him. And maybe it looks like Tammy won't be able to make it, but he's the founder and CEO at Become More Group. And we love the idea of becoming more, living in a world of more than enough of everything for everyone. It's an abundant attitude and perspective that our friend Scott takes. Welcome to Office Hours, Scott.
Oh, thank you, David. It is wonderful to be here, and it is not cool here. It has been 95 here today. So,
well, that's outside here in Dallas, but inside the Aspire Tour, you could hang meat in our studio today. That's why we're understanding the Become More Group. I picked out one of the capabilities of the abundant attitude of the Become More Group, which is, I believe, the most necessary of all capabilities of the group, which is engagement. You know, I literally make people guarantee when I do business with them. Sean knows this. I can't guarantee outcomes, and I wouldn't want someone that works with me to guarantee an outcome. But you can guarantee that you're going to be engaged, that you're going to do your best, learn lessons, have fun working with me. And it's easy to follow up on. It is something that is quantitatively great. Plans, go no-go plans, others make sure people are actually engaged in what they're doing, productive, accessible, and gracious. I was curious as far as the more group, very outcome-based focused team in partners with the organizations to improve these things. Some of the things you're seeing in the most necessary criteria of business, which is engagement.
Yeah, I think we're really seeing a few things. And I mean, for anyone who follows Gallup or similar, engagement or lack of engagement is at an all-time low or high, I guess, depending on how you
Right.
say it, right? The lack of engagement is at an all-time high. Engagement is at an all-time low. And what we have found in our experience, in our research, it's really about four things. Okay, is the person connected to the mission and the purpose of the organization? Do they feel like they're a member of the team? Are they connected to someone somehow? What is their fit for their job? Are they, kind of doing their superpowers in their role and get to use that more often than they don't? And what's their relationship with their leader? And we're seeing more and more organizations focus on that last one, saying, how do I connect and have my leaders take more interest on the people side of the business? And we still have to get results. I mean, it's weird how customers and, people want to get paid. And it's, weird things like that is important in a business.
Yeah. Some people pretend to pay you and they pretend to work. Oh, that's communism. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, yes.
What do you say, Nick?
How do you think that the impact of these return to office mandates is happening on?
Oh boy, wow! Now I'm good. You know what? I'm going to say it plain. Okay, I think if you are mandating that without a clear purpose, you got a little crazy going on. Okay, so I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I think you have to decide that for your organization. But to blindly say everybody come back, it's weird to me. The research is pretty clear. You actually can be more or as productive at home. And so to me, I think it's what is the role? Now, there are some roles, of course. I kind of expect my doctor to be in the OR with me. Right? Right? Hey, if I'm in manufacturing and I'm running a piece of equipment, I probably am a little hands-on. Okay. Now, I think there's also a lot to be said about that human connection. For us at Become More, we don't have an office. Everyone is virtual. And we have purposeful quarterly, everybody is together meetings. We have one-on-ones where we're connecting via Zoom. So it's very, very possible. And I think you have to look at it and say, why are you demanding they come back to the office? Is it because you don't trust them? Is it because you're not seeing the results? Is it because people are missing the connection? Is it because, like, what is actually going on? I think then if you're doing it on purpose and you're getting good outcomes for that, great. High fives all around. If you're just doing it because, well, I think it's the right thing to do, I might recommend you just pause for a second and think it through.
That's super. Oh, I'm sorry. That's super interesting, Scott. That's very interesting. When we think in terms of becoming more, and we think in terms of organizations and teams, many times it's easy to fall into, like, we are the sum of our parts. 1 + 1 = 2, but a very high performing team, a high performing organization, 1 + 1 = 3 or more. And it's fascinating that you brought that up when it comes to working remotely or virtual engagement. So I'm wondering, one, when it comes to in-person engagement, what's the secret to amplifying performance and engagement? And two, is there any difference when we translate that out into the virtual world?
Yeah, I mean, I still believe it is about the relationship you have with that person. Whether, let's just set aside, is it leader, follower? Is it peer to peer? What is that relationship with that person? And have you built it? Because if I can build it, whether it's virtually or whether it's in person, I think you can make that connection. And are you having that connection, and are you having that purposeful connection? Are you getting the end results that you want? I don't believe it's really any different virtually than in person. Now, of course, my business partner, she's a hugger. It's hard for her to give a hug virtually. So that there are some downsides to that.
We're virtual huggers. I usually see Sean in virtual experiences. Probably been more offensive virtually in the touching that I do. Anyway, we want to become more and be more and go to the Become More group. It's a result-driven solution that allows for retention and performance engagement. To become more as an organization, we need people power, and it's all about the people. People work for a culture, not a company, and it's people like Scott Bergmayer and his wife Tammy that are providing that culture to provide people the pursuit in their potential. Scott, please come back with your wife next time. We would love to have you. Thank you for joining us on Office Hours.
All right, gang. Have a good day.
Thanks, Scott.
You got it, brother. Thank you. Great interview. All right, gentlemen, we're here at the Aspire Tour in Dallas, and we are blessed to be here in the ice cold studio. It's very chilly in here. You could hang meat if you need to come by and bring your corned beef, your roast beef, or other sausages. Prime rib is always good. Anyway, I'm going to let Nick, our favorite wealth management advisor and tax expert, tax architect, tax man himself, with the big smile that goes a mile. What's your takeaway of the day, Nick?
It's engagement, right? If we engage with our audience through SEO, engage with yourself, know yourself, and sort of really make sure you turn internally. And then how you engage with your team, how do you engage with your organization? I think sort of those three pieces of engagement can really inform you as an entrepreneur.
I love it.
Well, I don't know what we can see or pick up, I mean, in the tech world, but when it comes to engagement, shout out to Jody. She's been engaged the whole time.
Oh, I love Jody.
Thanks so much, Jody, for your engagement on the show. My word is potential. Whether it's, with Become More and our potential as a team, whether it's our potential as an individual, as we look to go back to happiness, but also your potential in reaching more people through search engine optimization, leveraging AI, and understanding the trends and what's going on in the world. That's why we tune into Office Hours on the regulars, because it's all about us elevating our potential to be who we were put on this planet to be.
I love it. My takeaway is strategy. And strategy is different today because of the variant behaviors and the expedited changes that occur. So we have to have what's called now, what I call a humble strategy, that I don't know what I don't know. I'm going to put forth the best framework or strategy according to the lessons of the past, knowing though that the lessons of the past may not be applicable in a week or two. And so this new form of strategy, a humble strategy that's more a test and go strategy than it was a concrete long-term plan in order to effectuate. And it's really interesting because some things will take time and you have to plan for the unplanned. And I'll give you an example. If you were building a battleship today, it takes 17 years to build an aircraft carrier. How do you plan for technology 17 years from now? So all of the different guests that I think are helping us utilize strategy in their subject matter, topic, or expertise by having a humble strategy of testing and going. I'm testing and going as I go with office hours, and I try to surround myself with the right people and the right ideas, the right team and position. That's where I like to be on episode 765. I want to thank Nick Agakar, my boy, who I will see soon. Thank you for joining us as an amazing co-host. He's been an amazing guest. It's always good to see him. He's flexible, like my friend, Dr. Sean Dill, with the beautiful jacket and the beautiful glasses. Thank you both for joining me. I am going to go ahead and close out the show before we play the funky music that Gigi has developed herself. Remember, we are at the Aspire Tour. We're going to be at the VIP dinner tonight. Flying back to LA for the Dallas Cowboys SoFi Mastermind. Got Go Fund Yourself filming, 2-minute drill funding. We also have a mastermind for the Chargers and Rams. We also have a SoFi mastermind. A lot of LA action, but I'm going to be in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Meetups, holding court, interviews, speeches. They're all available for you. Come and join us. All you got to do is email me, david@dmeltzer.com. If you want to get on our invite list, please text us. You'll be invited to everything. Over 200 cities a year. 949-298-2905. If you do not like to be invited because you feel obligated and bad about it, or you get mad about it, do not text me at 949-298-2905. Text Sean. All right.
Play that funky music, Gigi.
Go, girl.